Ascended rank 5 6-star King Groot. Surely that is a good idea? Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Content Creator, as they say in America. So, when it comes to Ascension, I'm going to be doing a few videos on Ascended based champions. We did Ascended Scarlet Witch Classic. We obviously are doing in this video King Groot. I'm going to do many others. I'm not necessarily doing some of the top tier, like god tier related champions. I want to do champions that maybe I'm personally interested in, or ones I feel that, you know, if you add an Ascension to it, what does it change? Does it change anything? Is there any point to changing anything? But at least we can do this and kind of look at this in this particular video, because I like King Groot. I think a lot of people like King Groot. No, that's not the case. Only the cool people, like very edgy, very hipster. I think it's very hipster-liking champion. So what's great about this champion? Well, we're going to see him in action in some like Abyss of Legends based stuff, which is going to be very, very important. And also we're going to see him in action in some just general content. Bit of questing, bit of Realm of Legends, bit of everything in this video. So, what do I particularly like about this champion? It's survivability. I probably would rate King Groot as being a great option for Labyrinth of Legends. Maybe if we get time, we'll put it into this particular video. Some Labyrinth of Legends, interaction. I like the champion at 200 signature. Very specific on that one, especially because, as we've got here, while Malice is active, gain up to 100% poison duration based on how long the fight goes on. Max bonus after 100 seconds, so you've got to wait 100 seconds to actually do, high potency of stuff. When Malice enters cooldown, gain a regeneration buff, and that's just the general thing. So that's what, 6-star version, 15,764 over 13 seconds. Survivability. This champion has it, and also has some damage that he can do. I love the fact that he's got immunity to bleed, power drain, and power burn effects. It makes him a candidate to use with suicide masteries, which is what we're going to see the masteries configuration in this particular video. And if anybody's curious, which some people are, some people not, the mastery configuration I've got is on screen right now, the one that I kind of sport with King Groot, which you can see is kind of like maxed into double edge and also maxed into liquid courage. And from a defense perspective, there's not really anything because he's on the front foot. He can basically recover any kind of health that he loses because he is an absolute don for survivability. Again, I'm using that word. SP1 rotations, armor breaks. It's up to you how else you choose to rotate with the champion, especially as it's, up to you if you want to pause or poison and armor break debuffs on the opponent, even though the SP1 with a Fury buff version, when you got Fury buff on, you're able to make permanent those armor breaks when they hit. So it's going to be important to you and a lot of players. But with Malice, you spend one Fury buff instead to pause for 6 seconds. So sometimes I'm like, do I want to... rotating wise, whilst not in Malice, can be effective enough, but then I'm all about trying to build SP2, rotate with Fury buffs, big SP2 damage, rinse and repeat. Sometimes throwing a heavy attack, sometimes not. That's kind of like the way I like to kind of play the champion. Also, just to clear something up, this is my rank 4 6-star 200 signature version on my main account. Just to point out some differences, which you can see on screen, in that this is with just standard masteries, just kind of like, if anybody's curious. But you can see this is rank 4, it's 2,700 on my attack side of things. So it just kind of gives you an idea of the differences you're looking to see or would expect from a configuration change with any kind of champion, whether it be rank, ascension, and as well, to a lesser degree, mastery change. But that's always down to personal preference. So without further ado, let's just get into some action. Kicking off with just some standard questing. This is an Act 7. This particular one, I believe, is Fissure, and what we're doing is we're putting on loads of armor breaks. As part of the champion's rotation, he will throw armor breaks, which is really handy off that SP1. And if we're in certain content where the rotation applies, you can just see that the damage potential is there. I think this is definitely a champion that holds up. If you are looking for a solid option, as I said, for survivability, I say that King Groot has, or if not is, the best survivability champion in game, making him incredibly handy for the likes of, well, incursions, which I use him quite a bit on, but also several different things. If you need to throw an armor break in order to suppress or take down the likes of Emma Frost, who's on screen right now, then you do indeed have that option. The great amount of damage in this particular questing format is great. And any kind of recoil damage that you kind of do with masteries, from suicide masteries, then at least you could say you're kind of bringing back that health. A lot of the times you'll find yourself, even though recoiling, doing several special attacks, that you recover back at and stay at 100% for a lot of the quest. You can see there, great amount of poison damage, and just, you know, just absolutely fantastic. And you're going into this Darkhawk fight. In this particular scenario, I do push the champion further than maybe I'd like to. I think I push him up to like an SP2, and he's able to get into that kind of particular kind of stealth type form, I think it is, which, you know, it's always a bit of a risky one because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. But here's the thing: when you got King Groot, you got a bit of aggression on your side, and especially if you've got a rank 5 ascended version. And then when you throw that SP2 with a good amount of fury buffs, which you can see right there, and of course synergies do matter for this particular champion, you're literally just blasting through. Going over to Realm of Legends, and again, same situation. Like, as soon as we get our rhythm going, and first of all I was thinking to myself, well I'll just throw some SP1s, get some armor breaks on, but before you know it, you've literally defeated the champion. You might not think it at this particular moment because we haven't even scraped below 80% with such a slim amount of hits. And I do agree. But this champion does, when I eventually throw more specials, is definitely going to see that damage melt away on any kind of enemy. So we're going to build up right now. We're going to throw a striker at some point. But first of all, we're going to get this armor breaks. And I kind of think that if I just, well, we throw the striker in right there. I swipe back, throw the striker, and then out on the front foot for aggression. Building up the fury buffs or the malice, as you can see, the left-hand corner. And I think this does 13 or is it 14 fury buffs. You can get a lot more with a really solid rotation, but it really depends on what you're doing, where you're doing it to. Because we're going to throw the SP2 and then just hold off a little bit, just chill a little bit, and then you're going to see just like the melting of damage. And it's really, really nice. Simple as that. So now over to Abyss of Legends. Now I've just messed up on something, but I think this is really important to point out. Just look at the top left hand corner. And as soon as, because the length of fight that we've been going in, our regeneration is going to be doing rather well. And this is the thing about survivability. I've managed to shave off a good chunk of health away from this Iron Man Infinity War in Abyss of Legends. And it's great, because as soon as we build up some more fury buffs, we're able to be as aggressive as possible. And we're able to do stuff like this, which is just shaving off so much from this particular enemy. That Ascension really does add an extra depth to this champion. It's going to give it more, well, not future-proofing, because here's the thing, I would have loved the 7-star version to come into the game, because I know this champion's worth, because it really helps you get out of a sticky situation. If you're like, if you make a mistake and you need an option to help you out, then you do stuff like that, and then things become a little bit more simple and incredibly fun. Now the weird thing about this is that I did put King Groot on my B tier when it came to my Ascension tier list. He's actually right there. The reason that I decided to choose him as being that is like, it is very much a personal choice because I believe in him. I know there are a good chunk of people that believe in him as a champion, as in, you know, using him for a lot of different scenarios. As I said, I think he's one of the best survivability champions to aid you in incursions. But the fact is, look, let's face it, he's not Scorpion. He's not Gallon. He's not Hercules. He's not Kitty Pryde. So I think a lot of people would understand the pecking order when it comes to the performance of a champion like this, because it is a very, I'd say in some ways, niche type champion to enjoy. But I don't know, like, thoughts in the comment section about this one. Would you choose King Groot? This has been a video about King Groot's Ascension. This is very much a case of it's a passion thing that I'm interested in doing, and I'm sure a lot of other people will be interested as well. And yeah, thanks for watching. Check out some other content located on the screen, and I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye for now.